Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. In this week's episode, I'm sharing a sample of some of the vegan options I found in Playa del Carmen and Puerto Morelos in Mexico. If you tuned in last week, you'll know that I took a trip to Mexico. I was there for 8 days, and I just want to share some of my experience and some of my tips as well. To go along with this Mexican theme, I'm going to prepare some very simple tempeh vegan tacos, ones that anyone can make. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. When we landed in Cancun, Mexico, and we were about to exit, I was unexpectedly stopped. They took my food bag and searched through it. They discovered the chopped veggies and fruits. Although there were no seeds whatsoever, they tossed out all my fruits and veggies in the garbage. I tried to argue my case before this happened, but it was no use. They were completely cold and didn't care. Getting our ride to the Vedanta resort took quite some time. Once we got there, though, Shimmy knew that there was a grocery store on the property. So once we got settled, we headed to the grocery store to pick up everything we needed. While I did cook most of the time, there were some vegan-friendly and vegan places, and the ones we visited, I'm sharing in this video. Although having your food tossed out in the garbage at the airport wasn't the greatest welcome, taking a long walk on the massive Vedanta resort and exploring was a great way to unwind. We stayed in the Grand Mayan section. If you tuned in last week, you would have noticed that we had a kitchen. Avocado toast was one of the breakfasts I enjoyed. I picked up the spicy peanut salsa that normally I wouldn't buy since it has corn oil in it, but I never tried it before and I was very curious. For our first vegan-friendly restaurant, we took the public transit called Service Colectivo. This is essentially a white van that picks you up off the side of the road. There are no official bus stops, and you will notice the seating is comfortable, but often it can be crammed. From where we got off, we walked almost 3 kilometers. We didn't want to wait around for transit. Layla is the restaurant we visited in Puerto Morelos. It also has a hotel component. It was previously only a vegan restaurant, now it's half and half. However, the vegan menu is a full, substantial menu, as you can see. Feel free to pause the video to look through it. I had the green chilaquiles and vegan ceviche. I was pretty loaded up with tortilla chips, so I didn't finish all of this, but I had food for the next day. The gentleman who served us was super sweet. I also got to try their house-made habanero sauce, which was so tasty. In Puerto Morelos, we enjoyed some live performances before heading back to our resort on the Service Colectivo. There was quite a long lineup, so we missed the first van. But it didn't take long to get the next one. Another breakfast that I enjoyed was a tofu scramble on toast filled with flavor, tomato sauce, herbs, chopped veggies, and the spicy peanut salsa. Our resort was like a maze that you could get lost in. There was a trolley service to take you around the property, but it was more fun to get lost sometimes. You can come across various animals and birds. There was also yoga in the morning on the pier. Journeying into Playa del Carmen, this is where we visited our first all-vegan restaurant. But first, we enjoyed some beach time.
The nice thing about here also, it's not like Dominican or
This particular restaurant is a little outside of the bustling area. It's called Falafel Nessya. I had the full falafel combo plate, aka plato completo. For dessert, I enjoyed a chocolate banana paletta, fully vegan. It's a vegan popsicle. It had minimal ingredients and it was super delicious. The staff were super friendly there at Falafel Nessya. We also met a vegan German woman who is staying there for quite some time. There was so much to see in Playa del Carmen, so we came back again. The Dia de los Muertos celebrations were kicking off. Many of the ofrendas were being set up around the Paliso Municipal, the city hall in Playa del Carmen. In Playa del Carmen, it was the third restaurant we visited called Comet 984. It claims to be the world's first vegan 50s diner all over the world. If you're a fellow Torontonian, there was a vegetarian 50s style diner in Toronto called Sadie's. They also had vegan options. If anyone remembers that, feel free to share. Having a vegan milkshake with a filling meal really isn't my style, but I just had to do it for the experience. As you can see, I chose the strawberry flavor. I got the vegan chicken sandwich with some jalapenos. And I got some very tasty nachos as well. There were old photos and paraphernalia to give it that authentic diner feel. Now we'll take a journey back into my kitchen in Toronto so I can make some Tempeh Asada vegan tacos for you. Here we have our defrosted tempeh we're going to marinate. If you're not familiar with tempeh, it is essentially fermented soybeans which have been pressed together. It's very healthy for you. We're going to be using some juice from a lime and juice from an orange. Also, we're going to be using some lime juice for our pico de gallo. This is the packaging from the tempeh, in case you were curious. For our marinade, I'm using a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lime juice, a 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed orange juice, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of chipotle, a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Microplaning, maybe 2 garlic cloves. We'll make sure our tempeh is fully coated here. And an hour should be good enough. While the tempeh marinates, let's take a brief journey back to Playa Del Carmen in Cacao Chocolate Cafe. Everything that was vegan was clearly marked and easy to find. They even had a very fancy vegan mocha cake that you could enjoy there. I ended up getting the 90% dark chocolate. It is recommended that you take a smaller piece and allow it to melt on your tongue for the ultimate effect. Also, it goes quite well with red wine. A friendly staff member gave us samplings of the vegan chocolate there. And they had shampoos, soaps, and other products with cacao in them. Back into my kitchen in downtown TO, we're going to make sure our grill is oiled up and heated up before we place our tempeh on it. The oven has been preheated to 425 and it's ready to go. You want your grill to be heated all the way through. Feel free to use your Foreman grill or just fry up the tempeh pieces. I'm using my Stab grill here. Here's our ingredients for pico de gallo. We'll mix our diced avocado into our pico de gallo rather than making a separate guacamole. I'm going to sprinkle a touch of cumin in. Add a bit of salt. Our lime juice, just to coat it, and a tablespoon or so of olive oil. And we'll get our fresh cracked black pepper. And we want to chop up some cilantro, of course. Our pico de gallo is good to go. While we're waiting for our tempeh to be finished cooking, I just wanted to show you the taco shells I'm going to be using. They're called siete. I'm trying them for the first time. They're grain-free, gluten-free, and vegan. So it should be very interesting to try these out. They are the hard shells. Normally, I'm more of a fan of the soft shells, but I wanted to try something different out. The ingredients are cassava flour, avocado oil, pumpkin seed meal, pumpkin seed powder, psyllium husk powder, and sea salt. So we'll see how it goes. You don't want to overcook them. Since our oven is at a higher heat, we want to be careful. So once our tempeh is done cooking, we're going to turn our oven right off. There's still going to be heat in the oven, and we don't want to cook these for too long. No longer than 2 minutes. Probably 1 minute will be good enough. So we're just popping in our taco shells like so. All cut up and ready to go. So we'll add some veggies here. This is slaw. Add some of the sauce or marinade. Some of the vegan cheese. And we'll add pico de gallo. We got our beautiful tacos. Now we're gonna do a very quick taste test and hopefully not ruin the lipstick or anything else. Here's the tacos. It's time to try it. And not make a mess, please. Just what I've been waiting for. Perfect flavor sensation, perfect combination. That saltiness, that little bit of spice, that lime, that touch of orange as well. Wonderful. Everything comes together beautifully. This particular vegan cheese goes very nicely with these tacos, I must say. So there you have it, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this bonus recipe to tie in with our vegan theme. And I hope you've enjoyed exploring virtually some of the vegan options that we found in Mexico, along with the scenery to tie it all together. And remember, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. There's going to be a new video popping up every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern, so you don't want to miss it. This is JJ signing off, keeping things interesting in my kitchen and in yours. Bon appetit!